In recent months, we have seen low interest rates on home loans helping drive up interest in the local housing market. But with limited supply, potential buyers are seeing home prices going up. Here to talk about the situation developing here in San Diego, local real estate agent Dan Beer. Hello there. Thanks for joining us.
Good to be with you.
So can you break down for us how COVID-19 has been affecting the housing market?
You know, the pandemic has been really interesting and a tale of two different stories for different folks and different people, not just here in San Diego, but across the country. But certainly here, we're seeing record median home prices, which would be counterintuitive to what you'd expect in a pandemic. But what's occurred is think about, everybody's talking about how there's low inventory, and so that's why prices are rising. But the real question to be asking is, why is inventory low? And the reason inventory is low is think about the fact that there are thousands of mortgages out there right now in forbearance that are not being paid. And so when you have thousands of homeowners that are not being they're not having to make a mortgage payment, those aren't necessarily very motivated sellers. So all that inventory leaves the market. Then on the flip side, you have a lot of industry here in San Diego that's not been affected. Technology, biotech, a number of, just a very strong workforce that is actually doing quite well. And all of them are looking for more space. Everybody's looking to step up. And it almost seems like regardless of what kind of size or price point anyone's in, they're all looking to step up into property, but there's less property to choose from because of what we just discussed, those forbearances. Of course, interest rates are tremendously low. That's, as has been well documented. So these elements working against one another are suppressing inventory. And then you get the third thing. The third thing is that because inventory is low, there's people that would like to sell right now, have the ability to purchase, but are scared to do so because they're scared of selling their home and then ending up with nothing to buy. And so all that's just culminating in a very interesting market, and frankly not one we would have predicted at the beginning of this pandemic.
Yeah, that's for sure. So what's your best advice for people who are thinking they'd like to sell and people who want to buy?
Yeah, so the best thing you need to be doing if you're looking to purchase a home is you can't only have access to what everybody else has access to. You have to be able to dig deeper and have resources, or somebody you have to have a team behind you that's going to dig up not only what's already on the market, which everybody sees, everybody's competing for, but hopefully get you access to more. If you're selling your home, just remember, you're ultimately in control. So that fear that I'm going to end up without a house, or I'm going to be homeless if I sell my property because I'll have nothing to purchase, there's a lot of solutions, including long-term leasebacks where you sell the home but you remain in possession. So it requires creativity, but also understanding how to assess risk properly, right? No one can force you to accept an offer you don't want to accept. So if the terms aren't right, you're not going to sell the home. You're not going to end up homeless. You'll be just fine. Really, from a long-term perspective, I just tell people, if you're comfortable in the property you're in, and you're happy to live in it for 5, 6, 10, let's say 10 years, there's really no reason to be caught up in this whole thing of, oh my gosh, I should sell my house and capture all the equity that's there. You're good, you're comfortable, you're committed to your property in the long term. Stay and just be happy with it. Having said that, if you think you might be selling, say, in a year or in 2 years, this is a really interesting market to take advantage of because of these pricing pressures. And so I would encourage you to accelerate the time frame.
Yeah, you got that.
And everyone's situation is different.
Yeah, I mean, and all of this in the midst of a pandemic where people are also concerned about having others, strangers traipsing in and out of the house. So complicated, but we really appreciate your expertise here, Dan. Thank you so much. Dan Beer, real estate agent in San Diego.